Hey, Wiley, could you hit the lights for us? All right, Tilly.
All right, so here's my introduction. It's kind of long. Imagine you feel the earth rumble, see your home city shake and tremble. You hear a huge explosion. You see a huge cloud smoking out of the mountain that has protected your city. You see ash and rock pouring out of the cloud. You run to shelter, but soon you will realize there is nowhere to hide, and you see your house and the streets filling up with rubble from the volcano. You see that it is raining stones and ash. You are finding it harder to breathe, and the rubble is almost up to the second story of your home. Then the cloud collapses, sending a hot and fast surge through the air and down towards the city. It doesn't quite reach the city, but you wish it had to put you out of your misery. You huddle up in the corner of your house and wait to die. It is getting more and more difficult to breathe by the second. More surges come, and finally the fourth reaches you. You pray to your gods to take you away from the disaster, take you out of the world, away from the smoke and ash and heat. Finally, you take your last breath. Finally, the life is suffocated out of you. So, Pompeii and the eruption of Mount Vesuvius. A little background info. Pompeii was a wealthy and flourishing Roman city. It was a popular vacation for rich aristocrats. The city was only 1 mile away from Mount Vesuvius, and the Pompeians did not know that it was a volcano. And the eruption was on the 25th of August in 79 AD. My thesis statement was, Mount Vesuvius was a very spectacular yet deadly eruption that buried the city of Pompeii, and the ash miraculously kept the people and buildings mainly intact, but are diminishing today. So what were some warnings of the eruption? In about 62 AD, there were many earthquakes, but the people of the city decided to stay and repair the damage. In early August 79 AD, there were more warning earthquakes. How many people were killed? Out of a population of about 20,000, 2,000 dead have been found. There are probably more buried and encased in the ash, and the rest of the people escaped or died later from inhaling the smoke and ash. How much destruction did the eruption bring? This one's kind of long. So the volcano had been dormant for about 800 years, so they had no idea that it's a volcano. First, the top blew up and the volcano shot up a small explosion of gases, volcanic ash, and hot stones thousands of feet into the air. Fire, smoke, and lava gushed out of the volcano, and earthquakes shook the ground for miles. Volcanic dust covered the sky and blocked out the sun. The sea rose, all sorts of volcanic matter flew out of the mountain, forming a giant mushroom-shaped cloud, and it rained ash and lava stone. The volcanic rubble began to accumulate at a rate of 5 to 6 inches per hour. That's kind of long, so I had a continued slide. Finally, the 12-mile-high column of ash collapsed after 11 hours, sending a pyroclastic flow down the west side of the volcano. The next day, the cloud collapsed 5 more times, each bringing a pyroclastic flow with super hot gas and ash blowing down the slopes at speeds of 60 to 180 miles per hour and temperatures at 350 to 650 degrees Fahrenheit. And the surges destroyed everything in their paths and left behind layers of ash. And when the eruption was over, the town was covered in more than 12 feet of debris, and only the top of roofs was showing. My fourth and final question was, what condition is Pompeii in today? For the most part, the volcanic ash has preserved the city very well for about 2,000 years, but the volcanic ash is being worn away after the 2,000 years by tourists, weather, and pollution. For example, recent rain has caused parts of a temple and tomb and a shop wall to crumble, and thieves have stolen part of a fresco, and Italy and the government is worried that the city may be reduced to rubble from its age, and the government paid $137 million to restore a collapsed building and has hired security guards to prevent more theft. So if Pompeii hadn't been discovered, or connections to today, the connection to today is that it's really helpful for archaeologists on Roman lifestyle. We wouldn't have evidence of the devastating eruption, and the documents by Pliny the Younger wouldn't make much sense to us. And then in conclusion, Pompeii was a flourishing city of the Roman Empire. There were warnings that weren't taken into consideration. Of about 20,000, about 2,000 died. It was a major volcanic disaster, yet a very unique eruption. Pompeii was a great contribution to archaeologists' studies on ancient Roman lifestyle, and the city is being worn away today by leather and humans. And there's my works cited.
Awesome presentation. Questions about Pompeii?
Cal?
Was there any seismic activity or anything that caused the volcano in specific, or?
I looked for that, and I couldn't find anything on what had actually caused the volcano. Abby?
Yeah, I kind of missed the first question. What was that?
Oh, my first question was, what were the warnings of the
Okay.
volcano?
Thank you.
And, Leo.
So how far away did the volcano damage? Like, how far did it
Well,
pass,
it buried the city of Pompeii, and it also buried the city of, I'm not sure how you pronounce it, Herculaneum? But that was also pretty far away, so I'm not sure exactly, but probably about 5 miles from Madeline.
So is the only reason that like they're trying to like protect the ruins and Pompeii, is the only reason that they're trying to do that is so that tourists can continue, or is it like for the environment? It's like what's
I think it's mostly like so tourists can see it, and also because they're still about a third of the city is not excavated,
so they're trying to
and so they're probably going to want to still excavate and see what else they can find. I'll take one more question. Luke?
Did the pyroclastic flow like kill you like immediately if it hit you?
I do not know. Probably. And then my model was I have my mountain and this is my cloud. And then on this side was what it looked like after the eruption. So I have my lava and ash and little people with huge heads. And then I have my excavated side, so I've got like a few temples and some more people like as statues encased in ash. And that's my...
One question that I had, the people who are encased in the ash, so what is left of them today? Is that their actual body, or like what is, like you see those people who look like cement? Do you know what those?
I know that when the ash covered them and it made like a case around them, and then the body itself decayed. And then I know that some of the people or archaeologists made some casts, actual like cement casts, and I think some of them are still actual people.
Awesome. Nice model, and good job using it during your presentation.
Showing that
Awesome. Oh, compliments for Tilly. What did Tilly do well as a presenter?
Madeline?
so you were really thorough and like you hit like all the main points, and you spoke really loud and clear.
Okay. Savvy?
You spoke very clearly